Now, I've said before in the past how I really enjoyed this game as a kid, but now I get to show you. Zonk for the TurboGrafx 16, now available on the Nintendo Wii Virtual Console. This game is rated E for everyone by the ESRB, distributed by Hudson Soft. Now, this game looks similar to the Bonk series of games, but instead of headbutting things, running around, you're flying around and shooting things, similar to games like Gradius, or may I dare say it, Zero Wing. All your base, anyone? Now, the point of this game is very simple. You're just flying around, shooting enemies, and collecting power-ups. Can't get any more simple than that. Now, let's take a look at some of these power-ups. Most of them, of course, are weapons, such as this electricity beam with a short range, but it can be charged to shoot electrical rings at your enemies. All charged weapons take a few seconds to set up. Or maybe you like a spread shot weapon, like these playing cards. Just pick a card, any card, because every one of them is deadly. Yes, bad joke, I know. You're gonna hear more later. Or maybe you want a boomerang type weapon, which also has a wide range when charged up. But it's kinda slow, but it is powerful. Hey, how about this weapon? Bear traps that work like false teeth shooting out your mouth. That boy needs therapy. Now, you probably notice those little smiley face things flying around. If you get enough of them, enemies will drop a larger smiley face and a friend character will appear. You can tell this game was made in the 90s, with friends like Scud the Missile, some Spike head dude named Spike Ree, and the most original named character, Bob the Baseball. Now, what happens if you collect a large smiley face when you already have a friend with you? Well, you do some weird Dragon Ball Z type fusion stuff, and you'll fuse with them to become a superpowered Zonk. Which, for example, if you fuse with Bob the Baseball, you get to become a baseball pitcher that shoots baseballs at your enemies. Now for the lowdown of the game. The graphics are pretty good. A 4 out of 5, I have to say that the graphics are very crisp and clear, and most of the time you don't have enemies blending in with the background, but it does happen. Now, there's really not much else to say about the graphics except they are very colorful, and for a game of its time, they are pretty good. And the boss enemies, yes, the boss enemies are very large and detailed as well. Like, most of the time, there's a lot of things going on at once, and there's a lot of flickering all over the screen, but that's expected. The sound, unlike the graphics, don't really fit into the other games of its time, like Super Mario World or Sonic the Hedgehog. The sound more sounds like something that would compare to, like, Mega Man 6 for the NES. But this game wasn't competing in the sound category against the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis. It was more or less competing against the NES. The control of 4.5. The D-pad moves you, the 1 button is to fire your weapon, and the 2 button charges your weapon. Now, it's pretty simple, it couldn't really get any better or any worse. Now, this is a game that the controls are pretty easy to pick up, even for the first time playing the game. Now, the replay value, a 4 out of 5. There's only 5 stages in this game, and 3 difficulty levels. Difficulty levels are sweet, sour, and bitter, which are the equivalents of easy, normal, and hard. At most, a short game, but a perfect time waster. The challenge, as I said before, I give it a 3.5 because most of the levels are pretty easy. There's really no major difficulty until you get to the last stage of the game. But there are 3 difficulty levels, so that should keep you busy for a little while. The story, only at 2.5 because I really don't know what the real story behind this game is. All I know is you're Zonk and you're trying to stop the evil King Drool from destroying stuff or something. I really don't know. Personal nostalgia, definitely a 5. Because I used to love playing this game as a kid in the store and at Toys R Us on a display. I have to say this game was a pretty good time waster in the store, and I was really disappointed when they finally removed the TurboGrafx 16 display from the Toys R Us because I loved playing this game so much, and I'm glad to have played it again. Overall, I give this game a 4 out of 5. It's a definite must download for the Wii Virtual Console.